Hello and welcome to our video on the top 10 bank robberies in history. Bank robberies have been a popular theme in movies and TV shows for years. But they're not just a thing of fiction. They have actually happened in real life, and some of them have been incredibly audacious. Today, we're going to count down the top 10 bank robberies in history and look at how they were carried out, how much money was stolen, and what happened to the robbers and their loot. So, let's get started. Number 10. The United California Bank Heist. The United California Bank Heist occurred on March 24, 1972, in Los Angeles, California, United States. The robbery was carried out by a group of 7 men who had spent months planning the heist. They stole approximately $30 million in cash, securities, and other valuables from the United California Bank's vault. The thieves gained access to the bank's security systems and used explosives to blow open the vault doors. They then loaded the stolen money and valuables into a van and fled the scene. Over time, some members of the gang were arrested and convicted, while others remained at large. Some of the stolen money and valuables were eventually recovered, but the majority of the loot is still missing. The heist also inspired several books, documentaries, and movies, including the film, The Killing of a Chinese Bookie, by John Cassavetes. Number 9. The Northern Bank Robbery. At number 9, we have the Northern Bank robbery that took place on December 20, 2004, in Belfast, Northern Ireland. The robbers stole a whopping £26.5 million from the bank. They were armed and wore balaclavas to conceal their identities. The robbers took 2 families hostage and forced them to help in the heist. The police later found the families tied up in separate locations. The money was not recovered, and the police arrested several suspects. However, they had to release them due to insufficient evidence. The robbery had a significant impact on Northern Ireland's peace process, as it was blamed on the IRA. The Northern Bank robbery is still considered one of the largest bank robberies in history. Number 8. The Brinks Mat Robbery. The Brinks Mat robbery occurred on November 26, 1983, in London, England. The robbery was carried out by a gang of 6 men who had insider knowledge of the security measures at the Brinks Mat warehouse, which held large quantities of gold bullion, diamonds, and cash. They used a JCB excavator to break into the warehouse and threatened the security guards with firearms. They then poured petrol over them, lit them, and held them hostage while they loaded the gold bullion into a van. The total value of the stolen goods was estimated to be around £26 million. The government offered a £500,000 reward for information leading to their arrest. In the end, most of the thieves were eventually caught, although only a small amount of the stolen gold was recovered. Some of the members of the gang were murdered, and others were imprisoned for their involvement in the robbery. Number 7. The Banco Central Burglary. At number 7, we have the Banco Central Burglary that took place on August 6, 2005, in Fortaleza, Brazil. The robbers dug a 78-meter tunnel to the bank's vault and stole $71 million in cash. The tunnel took the robbers 3 months to dig and was well lit and ventilated. The police found the tunnel a week later and arrested several suspects. However, most of the money was never recovered. The Banco Central Burglary remains one of the most well-planned and executed bank robberies in history. Number 6. The Securitas Depot Robbery. Moving number 6, we have the Securitas Depot robbery that took place on February 22, 2006, in Tunbridge, Kent, England. The robbers stole a staggering £53 million from the depot, making it one of the largest cash heists in history. The robbers posed as police officers and kidnapped the manager and his family. The robbers forced the manager to help them access the depot and stole the money. The police later found most of the money buried in a field. They arrested several suspects, including the manager, who was sentenced to 15 years in prison. The Securitas Depot robbery remains one of the most audacious and sophisticated robberies in history. Number 5. The Knightsbridge Security Deposit Robbery. The Knightsbridge Security Deposit Robbery, also known as the Knightsbridge Safe Deposit Center Heist, occurred on July 12, 1987, in London, United Kingdom. The robbery was carried out by a group of 6 men who had rented a small office space above the Knightsbridge Safe Deposit Center, posing as a legitimate business. They spent several weeks drilling a hole through the 6 feet thick wall of the vault where the safety deposit boxes were held. On the night of the robbery, the thieves made their way into the vault, stole an estimated £60 million worth of cash, gold, and jewels from the safety deposit boxes, and made their escape through the same hole they had created. The government took several steps to apprehend the thieves and recover the stolen goods, including offering a £3 million reward for information leading to their arrest. In the end, only 2 of the 6 thieves were convicted, and a small portion of the stolen loot was recovered. Number 4. The Antwerp Diamond Heist. Moving number 4, we have the Antwerp Diamond Heist that took place on February 15, 2003, in Antwerp, Belgium. The robbers stole an estimated $100 million worth of diamonds from the Antwerp Diamond Center. The thieves used a combination of insider knowledge, technology, and brute force to pull off the heist. The police later arrested several suspects, including some with links to the Italian mafia. However, most of the diamonds were never recovered, and the case remains unsolved. The Antwerp Diamond Heist remains one of the most significant diamond thefts in history. Number 3. The Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Robbery. At number 3, we have the Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Robbery that took place on April 2, 2015, in London, England. The robbers stole an estimated £200 million worth of jewelry and cash from the Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Limited. The robbers, who were experienced thieves and had an average age of 60, entered the building through an elevator shaft and used heavy-duty tools to break into the deposit boxes. The heist took place over the Easter holiday weekend, and the robbers managed to evade detection for several days. The police later arrested several suspects, and most of the loot was recovered. However, some of the more valuable items, including a diamond necklace worth £2 million, are still missing. The Hatton Garden Safe Deposit Robbery is the largest heist in British history and serves as a reminder that even the most secure facilities can be vulnerable to determined criminals. Number 2. The Dar es Salaam Bank Heist. Moving number 2, we have the Dar es Salaam Bank Heist that took place on October 13, 2007, in Baghdad, Iraq. The robbers, believed to be members of a Shia militia, stole $282 million from the bank. The robbers entered the bank through a hole they made in the wall of a nearby building. They then spent hours inside the bank, taking the money from the vaults and ATMs. The robbery was so well planned and executed that the police and security forces didn't even realize it was happening until several hours later. Despite extensive investigations and arrests, only a small fraction of the stolen money was recovered. The Dar es Salaam Bank Heist remains one of the largest bank robberies in history. Number 1. The Central Bank of Iraq Robbery. Finally, at the top of our list, we have the Central Bank of Iraq robbery that took place on June 14, 2003, in Baghdad, Iraq. The robbers stole around $1 billion from the bank in a series of raids. The robbers used trucks to transport the money from the bank's vaults to their hideouts. The robbery was carried out during the chaos and lawlessness that followed the fall of Saddam Hussein's regime. It's believed that the robbers were part of a well-organized gang that had connections to the highest levels of power in the country. The money was never recovered, and the robbery remains one of the largest and most audacious in history. And there you have it, our top 10 list of the most daring bank robberies in history. But beyond the thrill of the stories, it's important to remember the real impact these robberies had on the victims and their communities. We can't forget that behind the excitement of these tales, there are real people who suffered and continue to suffer from the consequences of these crimes. Let's learn from the mistakes of the past and strive to build a safer and more just society for everyone. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, stay safe and stay curious.